Hello, viewers. I'm SB,
And I'm Amabel.
and welcome back to Amabel Goes to Forex School, where I hope you are learning as much as you are taking time out to write little songs, miss. Okay, so we are having gun problems.
I mean, this is a pass-fail course, right? Like, I don't have a test.
I don't know, for you it's starting to look like a fail course. So we're having gun problems. We are not formally at war with Horatio yet, but he's talking about it. Notice.
Didn't he declare war on us?
No, he said something mean, but it was not. I don't believe it was a formal. We're still Cold War.
Okay.
So notice this pressure trend. We have a higher score than he does, it seems like. So there is some. This is a kind of a murkily defined system. We'll come back to it more later, especially once we're in a situation where like planetary influence is bumping up against planetary influence. But I wanted to show you this diplomatic screen. So it keeps track of our current diplomatic status with everybody. And of course, just like the last game, we can see the galaxy from anybody's perspective. Obviously, we don't have a lot of information right now, and Horatio and the Riftborn don't seem to have met, so not super useful.
What can I do for you?
We don't really want to talk to the pirates, so yeah, it's about to start warming up though. We got pirates, we got Horatio rattling sabers, we got marketplace speculators dumping adamantium. You get some like marketplace random events in this game to sort of like liven that stuff up a little bit. Whew. All right, and we are finishing our evaporation inhibitors and then setting off on the path of military research. Now, we have been getting some ship modules from the researches we have been doing. It's not all strictly confined to the military quadrant. Opening your empire's doors to new population types has its challenges, but also its rewards. Each new group adds to the strength and flexibility of a society, contributing to the maturity of your empire as a whole. Capture, assimilate, or attract a new population type to receive 80 influence. That's totally going to happen. We have discovered 4 systems outside of our constellation. Pretty easy. We were in good position to just fire off a lot of probes towards stuff we could already kind of see. So, as reports of new systems and their contents come in, other reports arrive as well. It seems that heroes are departing the Academy on individual missions, not at Isyander's request. This independence is unusual, though it is not a full rebellion. At least, not yet. So we've developed a fancy new support module that adds movement points to the ship and also increases distance traveled per movement point, which is an interesting way for that system to work, right? It would be a lot more difficult to do something like that in like a hard hex-based system, but here, in essence, you're moving like stellar inches along a path that can be measured as a real distance, so you can just adjust how much a movement point is. It's a lot more similar to a real world kind of like war game design. It seems that after centuries of study, Isyander is finally coming close to unlocking key mysteries in the history of the Lost. This close to his goal, he has become distracted and vague. He has time for little else than his lifelong obsession. Submitting to his obsession, however, has left his organization adrift and unguided. The result is that some heroes no longer feel the need to obey his orders, while others simply forget to ask his permission. As the mystery of the turmoil is resolved, that of the unclaimed places becomes clearer as well. You have learned that some of the hero fraternities view the unique planets as anybody's treasure, first come, first served. Beneath the serenity of the great void, a race is heating up to discover and exploit the enormous riches and power that these planets represent. Some view them as resources to be strip-mined, while others view them as historical sites to be studied. Which one are you? That's a great question. So we cannot do compare here because we are not a Sophon or Vaulter. We're not science focused enough to be doing this kind of investigation. If there are riches to be had, it is best to keep them out of the hands of powerful splinter factions of the Academy, and also, you know how we feel about riches. So, colonize or create an outpost on 2 unique planets in less than 30 turns. And I believe every faction's homeworld is a unique planet, so we just need to find one more. Unfortunately, I believe the Academy is already colonizing the system that Auriga is in, so we're going to need to find another one. But if we do, we're going to be rewarded with a hero, so that's pretty high stakes, actually.
Yeah.
Your offensiveness drives Horatio to anger and distraction.
So he's still threatening us. He's letting us know it's gonna happen, but it has not happened yet. Scorpius has been marked as the target of a pirate contract. Scorpius is that one. Yeah, this is how he's doing it right now. He's got a scout ship up here, and he's just gonna pay the pirates to fuck us up. Over here, a pirate ship has been caught in our blockade. I am disinclined to open fire on them, I think. Well, 44 attack, 67 defense versus our 53, 181. Do we have any sense of what kind of defenses we're talking about here? No, there's 67 neutral. Okay, so let me talk about this projectile energy balance meter here.
Okay.
There are effectively 2 broad kinds of defensive modules. You got your armor, which gives projectile defense, directly reduces the damage dealt. Directly reduces the damage dealt by projectile weapons. And then you have shields, which have energy defense on them, which directly reduce the kind of damage dealt by energy weapons, lasers and beams and whatnot. So the 2 common types of projectiles are bullets and missiles. The 2 common energy weapons are, I think they're called lasers and beams, even though it seems like those would be the same thing. No, they're different. So with every ship or every fleet, you can just, do a mouse over here and get kind of a quick readout of like, what is it? How are they balanced? You can see this guy's weapons are 100% tilted toward energy. He has no particular bias in his defenses, while our ship is mostly projectile weapons and mostly projectile defenses as well. I'm going to go ahead and we can kill/run him off. And this might be an opportunity to see a battle.
How battle works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is probably going to retreat, but let's talk about this because we're going to start seeing these systems a lot, I think, in the near future. So, when you go into battle, notice here there are 3 areas. Our ship is in area 2 and it's sort of locked there. That will remain true until we start running large enough fleets. Eventually, basically, you break your fleet into 3 wings, and then you select a battle plan. And you can see the battle plans you select a battle tactics card, and the battle tactics have an ideal engagement range for each of the wings of your fleet. Different weapons are more effective at different ranges. You can see our ship's projectile weapons are very short range focused. So ideally, we want to select a tactic that has us at short range. But they also get to select a tactic. We don't get to know what it is until the battle actually starts. And I believe the ships will start at whatever the longer range picked between the 2 players is. The ships in that lane effectively, and then if one of the people chose a tactic with a closer engagement distance than that, then they'll close over the course of the battle. We just want to go real close here. So the tactics we have access to right now for this combat are turtle up, 20% hull plating absorption on our ships, and as you can see, it puts us puts middle flotilla at short range. Power to the shields, which keeps us at a distance and powers up our shields. Or plasma distortion, which gives bonus shield penetration to both fleets and a little bit more to us, and puts us in the middle. We obviously want to go short range here. And I'm going to put this on watch, even though this is not like a terribly interesting battle. Okay, they're not retreating, so they chose hard target, long range defense bonus, and they would like to be at mid range. And you can see here the 3 flotillas being compared. They have a single small ship. We have a single small ship. And this is as far as it goes with giving orders. From there, the battle is completely automated. And if we, you can see here, we're starting at this medium range because they picked a greater range than we did. We can increase the speed of the playback, and we could like zoom, we can roll it back and forth and stuff. We close distance naturally because we are, because we chose a shorter distance than they did. Let me turn on the view here. So you can see their health, their weapon readiness. There's a lot going on in these battles, but you can see we're shredding them. It's a very easy battle. Yeah. They forgot to bring guns. But this is kind of the idea of the battle. And then we gained 5 experience. That ship's dead. Obviously, all of that stuff is going to be a lot more meaningful and interesting when there are more ships and more weapons and stuff. But that's the basic thing.
That's so rad. That's so rad. Like, bits and pieces of it I've seen in other games, particularly strategic level games with battle subsystems in the board game world. And also games that have like that do naval combat.
Yeah,
because
that's essentially what this is.
I don't know
right?
how much you know about. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much you know about like Age of Sail battles.
Yeah, I'd have to admit it's not a huge amount.
But generally, like they gave their orders, and then there's really no way to communicate. Even doing like flag signals doesn't really work, because once people start firing, and terrestrial naval battles, there's so much smoke.
Yeah,
you can't see anything. So it's really just here's the plan, and hoping that your plan wins out from the other guy's plan, and that you guessed it appropriately. And to have that represented in a game, I think is really smart. And the kind of center and flanks idea is one I've seen in several board games, particularly when you want to resolve a battle quickly as part of a larger strategic situation. And so this is all very natural to me. And I assume as we research more battle tactics, do we have access to all the cards that we have, or do we get like a hand of cards?
I think we're supposed to have access to all the cards. The thing is, we have found battle tactics in rewards and stuff. Oh no, that's right. Yeah, there's a limited amount of tactics slots, and all the cards we have. We can slot more stuff, and we learn more. We learn more versatility by unlocking more military technologies.
Okay, well, it's an interesting way to do that.
And changing up which tactics are available to our fleet. I believe it's free right now. If we make a change, it will have a cost. It will have an influence cost for a while that will decay over time, and it'll be free again if we don't change them for like 10 turns.
Got it.
Something like that.
Okay.
I believe.
Yeah, that's real clever. I find, like, I enjoyed the battle system in Endless Legend for what it was. So I felt like for naval battles, it was kind of funky.
Yeah.
This I enjoy a lot. And this, again, it's less granular, less making like tiny little decisions, and more making a big decision and watching it play out. And I really respond well to that. So
would it surprise you to hear that there was no naval combat in the original release of Endless Legend, and that whole system, the whole idea of there being boats, is a thing that was added in an expansion?
I guess that's not a surprise.
Because it really does feel like it's just land combat on the water to a certain extent, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I am actually going to make a change. This take trophies thing where you get money and science per destroyed command point of enemy ships. This is going to be way more meaningful early in the game than later.
Yeah, no, that's neat.
So, okay, I've made that change. Yeah, you'll be able to edit your tactics in 10 turns for free or pay 95 influence to change it again now. Okay. So we're gonna pick up some military technology, and I think I'm gonna bail on Saif. I'm gonna get us our money back. We prevented Horatio from settling this faster by sending food ships. But
at this point, we're not gonna stop him. Yeah.
Well, in particular, what I'm thinking is he has pirate marked our system. He paid the pirates to come after us, so you can see we could buy it off. We could give him the old Dane Geld, but first of all, very expensive, and secondly, if he has more money, there's nothing to say he can't just do it again. And the pirate bases are about to put out more ships, so I actually want to withdraw our caravel as it is at this point our entire navy.
Baby, I love that you used the word Danegeld.
I know a little bit about history, like tiny little bits here and there.
Yeah.
Whew. Okay, we're still trying to push on this patient zero thing. We're still trying to get basic industrial functionality in two of our systems. So it would have been nice for there to be a little bit more time before the fighting started, but we live in this world, not that one. And I do want to keep this guy over here delivering probes to Takim until we convince the nearest to join up. What we need to do is start building actual warships, and that is what Ash is going to do as soon as it's done finishing Patient Zero for us. So I picked up our first military tech, ubiquitous surveillance. Everybody's safer when nobody has any secrets, right? Every part of the world is awash with data capture devices, from nano cameras to eavesdropping flies to chemical sniffers, not to mention digital trawlers, which results in improved recruiting, and also the big data shipyards, which give, extra levels to our ships. And we have unlocked the next stage of the military part of the tree. The Haroshims are providing us with resources. We have discovered the home system of the Riftborn with one of our probes, so that's cool. Upon arrival in the galaxy, the Riftborn settled on a snow-covered world that they named Vanguard. Like the rest of the universe they find themselves in, they have little love for the planet, yet in its pristine white snowfields, they find an echo of their own universe, Koros. Less a home and more a staging ground for further exploration, the Riftborn inhabit a small corner of the world with order and vigor. I think we're probably not going to play the Riftborn because they're not really that different. But remind me after this game, like when we're picking factions again, I do want to show you the Riftborn's opening cinematic because it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
In no small part because their music is really rad. Okay, Yelchin has gained another level. So we need to put 2 more skill points in before we're allowed to access the next row here, the next circle. So, optimal operations expert. Now that the population of our population of our system has crept upward a bit, is a lot more compelling. So it'll actually be a fair amount of industry and food. We also have access to dust output, but this is only 15 dust per turn right now. And it's not a very big thing. And what's rad is industry. So we're going to take that. That's going to help us get stuff done. And you know what? I'm going to drop the infinite supermarkets. The shipyards are going to be the building we use to complete Patient Zero.
Okay.
So our ships will spawn with 1 additional level, which will be helpful for murder.
Especially in this situation, yeah.
Helpful specifically for murder. So you can see with each rank of the military tree, we're unlocking more weapons technology. We have a lot of little ship modules here that are just unlocked by entering the entering the era effectively. Basic reactive plating, pinch beams, sync lasers, and stuff. And then there is better, fancier weapon tech available from specific things. And you get stuff like different kinds of missiles that are for different purposes.
Awesome. That's great. No, here's the thing you don't know about me.
Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah?
I am slightly a little bit. For someone who does not go on the water, I am kind of like a naval Age of Sail kind of nerd.
Okay.
So like the idea of having different projectiles for different purposes, or even different like doctor, like this is catnip for me. So this is very up my street.
So the only resource that we're currently pulling in just through mining is titanium. And you can see specialized modules that are made of strategic resources are the color of the resource they're made of to help you, at a glance. Like this is a Hyperium module here. This is a antimatter module there. I am inclined to focus on stuff like high energy magnetics. This titanium shrapnel module is really cool. So one concept that I have not yet introduced is we haven't really talked about manpower. We have this resource here, manpower, and you can see manpower is filling automatically from our effectively from our birth rate. More food means more manpower.
Okay.
And minor civilizations that are that have good relations with you will send you some of their troops. So you can see we have 18.2 manpower per turn from our minor civilizations. Whenever you build a ship, the ship has to be crewed based on its size, and the crew is taken out of your manpower pool. And as you see a little description of this mechanic here, ships get a damage bonus proportional to their current manpower as a percentage of their maximum manpower. So it really does make a difference to have your ships well crewed. So I like this titanium shrapnel support module, as horrible as this is going to sound, because it makes your guns do more damage to the crew of the enemy ship. And fucking up their crew really does reduce their functionality pretty badly. You can pursue a strategy where you are killing the entire crew of the ship, which obviously makes it inoperable right away, which is pretty rad. Also, you can see with titanium shrapnel, your weapons are more effective against enemy boarding pods, more likely to kill more people in the boarding pods, so when they board, they are less powerful. Because some people have, stronger ground troops than others. Like, for example, those Nashast, the Nashast minor civilization that we have, they improve, having them in our army improves the strength of our ground troops because they are, big hulking crocodile monsters. So different factions end up with a different mix of like crew strength, ground troop strength, based on the species makeup of their army, which is really rad. There's also autonomous construction, which will improve the that +1 satellite dish. That is the sorry, my hand is really twitchy today. That satellite dish is the expression of maximum flotilla points per fleet. So this lets us, this is logistics. This lets us put more ships in each fleet, show up to the battle, outnumbering the enemy. I think that's probably a good idea. And we'll grab the high energy magnetics as well. It'll only take us 2 turns to get through that research and then unlock another tier of weaponry. So by the time we can build ships, we're going to have like pretty good ships. But I am a little worried about whether that's going to be too slow. We are continuing to birth population points. Okay, you're waiting for more probes. Okay, we knew that. We don't actually see the pirates, but that's because we don't have anybody there to watch the ships leave the harbor. When they get close enough to our systems, we'll know. Okay, so this system has both antimatter and adamantium. This planet here is a very, very valuable source of strategic resources. Yeah. How about... Oh, no, sorry, not you. Shoot, that was a mistake. I didn't mean to move that ship. I thought I had the other one selected. I was like, 9 turns? There's no way. No, it takes 3 turns to get back here for you. Okay, so the pirates did spawn a prowler. Not a very impressive ship. That's the same kind of ship we killed in the battle before. And it was not in blockade mode. It was just sitting there. So I'm not too worried about that. I think we're going to be okay. This ship, unfortunately, can't turn around in the space lane. It has to get all the way to Micra and then come back, but it needs time to regenerate probes anyway. It'll be fine. Okay, and next turn, we're gonna finish the last thing for patient 0. Kraz is gonna flip to our control. And we're gonna get the ships that they had built as well. So that's gonna be helpful. That's also unlocked a new tactic slot in our tactics group. Wyrix was successfully hacked. Which one is what? Oh, yeah, okay. Unfortunately, we hit 50 with them, so we kind of, once again, don't actually need the, we don't need the improve image anymore. So once again, we're just going to lower the cost of taking their quest. We have successfully assimilated the Nashest and got 30 extra titanium in the bargain. Pretty rad. Okay, that's the tactics notification. So, right now, they are allied with the Horatio, which means the Horatio have more, they have more positive relationship with these guys than we do. But
Okay.
if we can finish their quest, it won't matter. It has been a difficult few years for the Hiroshams. Civil wars, natural disasters, and industrial decline have led to a planet-wide feeling of melancholy among the population. Walking through the capital city, the place quiet and subdued, a lone Hirosham approaches, but your guards block her way. If you'll permit me, Your Excellency. You nod. The guards step aside, and the Hirosham joins your side. You walk on together. You can see there's a little bit of a problem here with like the string builder, like inserting the name of the race. Hiroshams is already pluralized in their name, and so it creates these sort of weird grammatical issues. You are the leader of a mighty empire, are you not? And you want us to join your empire, don't you? Perhaps. Then what you must do is show that your people are content. You stop at the edge of a great plaza, but rather than the colorful life you might expect in the heart of the capital, you find shuttered stalls, watching eyes, and silence. A deep and strong happiness is what the Hiroshams seek most. Show us that, and our masters will elect to join you. Trust me, I know. Okay. Later discussions with the Hirosham leadership, together with analysis of your top xenopsychologists, suggest that the stranger spoke the truth. I appreciate that, we're not just listening to some weirdo who walked up to us on the street. Yeah, so reach 70 happiness in your empire and maintain it for 10 turns. That is a total no-brainer for us. We are profoundly good at happiness. That is a big thing of our faction. So 10 turns, we're good on that. Our faction quest, that's right, was to reach 150 dust per turn. We'll get there. And maybe not the most focused on that. I'm actually going to have that quest pinned so that we can keep an eye on the timer. Alright, so let's look at these 2 ships we just inherited from the Nashest. Shuttles, 156 attack, 194 shield, 194 defense, mostly projectile focused. And because I've just played the game a bunch, I can tell you that combination of long, medium, and short percentages is telling us that these ships are using missile weapons and bullet weapons, but more of the former. That's, I think, the read I get from that. We can't actually adjust their design. They're not like one of our, these are Nash's ships. We don't know how to make these, and we would make better ships if we were to design some. So we're not going to be able to update these probably, but, they're fine. Okay, these guys don't have any buildings. I think it would be a really good idea if you had Xeno-industrial infrastructure, given that your capital is temperate and fertile. I feel like we're just building the same thing everywhere, but it's a really good building for our situation. So I think it is time to maybe start building ships. We have unlocked a new level of this quadrant here. So we can pursue even more improved fleet limits. We could pursue improved fleet management. So these squadron modules allow like carrier style ships to run, fighters and bombers and stuff. Autonomous additional vessels. We can learn about boarding pods. Try to take enemy ships over. We do have good fighters. Manpower damage is impacted by relative infantry strength. Right, like our monstrous opponents. Yeah, we have 15% bonus infantry damage and health because of our Nashas. So we might actually be pretty good at boarding pod strats. Maybe that's exactly what we want to do. I think that's a fun idea, at the very least. And we should probably actually pick up some improved strategic weapons as well. We should do that first. Because right now, I don't think we have ship designs that are large enough to really make use of the boarding pods. We need larger hulls. Where are the more hulls here? Because we've been unlocking a lot of weapon modules. +1 initial level on ships. But yeah, we still only have caravel designs. Okay. So the actual hull designs are in Empire development.
Okay.
We might want to actually then go get those. Efficient shielding is only a tier 2 technology. It's going to take us no time at all. And then we can run these slightly better combat ships. What we want to do is try to get up off of small ships so that we can run a ship that actually has a bunch of people crammed onto it so that we can run a reasonable boarding pod. The amount of crew on a small ship is small enough that it hinders your ability to board enemies. We're going to put these guys into blockade mode. Don't let anybody just roll past. And so I guess we're going to look for something else to build for a turn while that finishes. We could build the supermarkets with the intention, obviously, of losing that government that law that we're currently running that gives all the happiness. But actually, it'd probably be better to colonize Esh-1 because of its significantly higher industry output. If we're going to make a shipyard, it should be based on a bunch of population on that planet. Plus, picking up another planet's going to improve the output of our some of the buildings we've already built here, right? Like the public-private partnerships and Xeno-industrial infrastructure scale with the number of planets you have in the system. So, also, bonus approval, just like resources in general, and some kind of subterranean curiosity. This is probably a strategic resource, would be my guess. In fact, maybe I want to run the caravel all the way back, because like we could figure that out with the resources in Esh, but I think Esh is busy. We want Esh doing other things, so a probe from the scout ship would resolve that really quickly. Oh, and it's true, we're not hacking. You know what? Let's fuck with these pirates. I want to reduce the strength of the pirate fleets that are being sent to strangle us here.
Yeah, because eventually we need to take that tiny tundra.
It's very important.
I want my tiny tundra.
Okay, diplomatic relationship has changed with the nearest. Yeah, we're crawling up. We're getting there. And we have been offered a hero. So, we had a couple more Lumeris heroes with allegiances to various political parties and, different classes. We also have you're a technologist? That's the race you are? Though they speak of it very little, Goktok, Tliket Goktok, is in fact a priest in the religion of the Illo. Their church, like their society, is dedicated to accelerating the forces of evolution and natural selection, and it was to study these powers in detail that they applied to do research at the Academy. Discovering the uses of dust, the powers of heroes, and the very low odds of survival when augmented by it, Goktok immediately volunteered based on the following logic. Dust will destroy or ennoble me. Should I be destroyed, that is divine will executing its remorseless winnowing of the weak, and that would be a good thing, as it means I am unworthy to live. Should I be ennobled, it will be clear that I am a chosen of the divine will, and it is therefore my duty to reach this state and execute that will. While fellow pupils and even employers find their fanaticism somewhat odd, they don't worry too much, as Goktok delivers results along with their servants. And he's a pacifist and an overseer. What does overseer mean? Bonus refill rate on fleet, a bunch of extra food for systems, extra industry in hot places. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty good governor. Yeah, that's a pretty good governor. All right, I think I like Tliket Goktok. And actually, that probably means we can just have you stop at Kraz, because I am going to take our friend here and give them a probe module. And we're gonna do a little quick exploration before we settle down into before we settle down into governing mode. For the same reason as we did with the last guy. Okay. So, good governing skills. Everybody has access to optimal operations expert, of course. I think we're going to take this bonus food. Pretty much everybody loves bonus food. And then we're going to create a new fleet on the home system, where sadly we have to wait for your probes to generate, but he can explore the curiosities that are appearing as we continue to improve our curiosity gathering technologies. Okay, so we have medium size, or we have the small, like, real combat ships. Let's grab something else here so that we can move up to the next tier, where we will gain a law slot for one thing.
Yeah.
And then improved commercial drives, obviously very helpful. And then, get access to better hulls. So Xenology gives us the ability to engage in diplomacy with the Academy and makes it easier for us to get new heroes. Adaptive bureaucracy. Once you have adaptive bureaucracy researched, you can absorb systems within your empire's area of influence. And also, this does lead to the ability to colonize barren worlds. I think these are both kind of compelling. Let's get some adaptive bureaucracies, and we have a lot of science output. Okay. Yep, we are continuing to do research. A new event. There has been a notably increased birth rate in one of the systems of your empire, Oshi, that identifies as militarist and scientific. The trend is particularly strong among the Hiroshim. Why? Your advisors say it's a cultural response to the instability of galactic warfare, while a leading analyst claims it's a reaction to the prosperity of peace. Perhaps no one really knows. Okay, so just bonus point of population occurred, and that completed this quest for us. Well, isn't that nice? Unfortunately, that's right. We were supposed to keep Oshi clear of enemy ships. I let that Horatio scout ship right through. I wasn't even thinking about it. He's not really an enemy yet. Sightings of hostile ships. I guess his ship is pretty hostile. I guess Horatio's pretty hostile. I am going to, for the moment, I'm going to fold these together into a single fleet. Okay, you have a probe now. Let's find out what this is. Indeed, antimatter. Cool. All right, Oshi doesn't have any other new stuff to explore, but Idris does. And there's a bunch of stuff in Scorpius. So, even bigger vessels. We can pursue upgrades that will allow us to add additional module slots to the hulls that we already know. Also, you can see here the Patriot Pills plant, a building that improves the amount of your food that goes into your manpower. But I really want bigger ships. So this would let us get the Lancellum hull design. 3 command points, a 2x slot multiplier. I think we want these Omakar class ships. And this comes along with an antimatter lenser. This causes enemies to want to target this ship. That's interesting. All right, applied cryogenics it is. So in 6 turns, we will have the design for some larger, more impressive ships. For the moment, I'm just, I'm ready for the pirates to do something, and they're kind of just not doing anything. Do we want to maybe lean forward to Deki here? We know how to settle Savannah-type worlds. The output of that world is, fine. Broadly, more systems is more good, right? But
yeah,
I'd be a little bit nervous about trying to settle on Zorak because, the food ships would have to get past the blockades. But let's go ahead and purchase a presence on this world. Check out those guys.
Well, that's pretty neat.
I don't know what their deal is, but I know it's rad. And then we're going to encourage colonization. We'll spend a bunch of that influence we've been stockpiling to get more food sent to this planet, get it resolved more quickly, and we'll move our little burgeoning defense fleet over to defend it. Okay, we gained a law slot. It feels to me like we probably want to run the Dirty Hands Act, right?
Let's see, what does that do again?
This is the one that lowers the cost of system improvements. We could gain a bunch of movement points on our ships. That's kind of whatever. We could reduce the cost of diplomatic terms. We could get even more insane amounts of happiness. And I don't necessarily think that's bad, but obviously One thing we do have to think about is the cost of maintaining these things. We are currently at 16 influence income. The Peace Among Extraterrestrials charter would cost us 2 influence per population point in our empire per turn to upkeep, which is to say almost twice as much influence as we're bringing in. This is going to consume basically all of our influence. I'm still going to do it because I think it's good, and I think we have a lot of planets that need to build a lot of buildings, but we need to work on that influence income pretty badly. Okay, time to start building some ships. A distant stellar giant, about 80 times the size of an average star, has just gone supernova. Capitalizing on the media attention drawn by the event, a pacifist group within your empire has launched a campaign to bring home the fleets that were monitoring the event rather than leave them on patrol. Okay, everybody's happy about that. Increases pacifist political ideology, just random events going off that have various effects. Yeah. Your hacking op was discovered by a defensive program on Heka. Okay, so when our hack got there and they're trying to backtrace it and counter hack us. And I am super not worried about that. Oh, as soon as we arrived at Deki, the pirates attacked, despite the fact that that's an insane thing for them to do. We don't need to watch this battle. This is...
Oh.
Do you want to watch the battle?
I did, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So you can see here, our 3 ships versus their 1 in the center flotilla. The game likes to do this like cinematic view kind of thing with the automated camera, and that's fine. I tend to prefer...
That's extremely whatever, yeah.
I tend to prefer to kick things into the overview camera, zoom in just enough to change the to the other zoom level, and then turn on the individual ship statistics view.
Yeah.
I find that this is the most useful for telling what's actually happening. And to be clear, this is like a free... that's not the one I wanted. This is a free camera thing. Like, we can move around, although I don't remember exactly all of the camera controls. There is... We can turn things about here. But yeah, obviously, like, we're going to shred this dude.
Yeah.
Turn up the battle speed a little bit. Right now, we are... Once we are... Here we go. Now that we're formally at close range, our weapons are going to do a lot more damage. Or at least the Caravel's weapons are doing a lot more damage. Okay. Easy enough. Sorry, I didn't want to... I don't want to make you miss the battles.
I mean, you can certainly turn up the speed on them a bit, but I like the movement of the I'm a nerd for that, and I appreciate that the battles the ships are firing from the sides. This is a problem I have with like a lot of space battles that are on the more naval side, the way say a lot of the battles you see in Star Trek really feel more like big naval ships, but it's all front loaded, and it just doesn't... I understand why that is, but it doesn't feel right to me.
So here is our offensive ship design here, the Brig. It focuses fire with the flotilla to quickly eliminate enemies, and it has a plus 10% damage bonus on all the weapon modules that are assigned to it. So, a nice little piece of visual shorthand that the game uses for the various modules is the number of, like, it installs... Here, let me just show you. Like, this is a tier 1 missile module, and this is a tier 2 missile module. There's a tier 1 bullet and a tier 2 bullet, so it actually adds another gun or whatever. Here's tier 1 shields and tier 2 shields. The tier 2s have the second circle. So you can at a glance get an idea of like what tier of technology are the things I'm installing based on like how many guns there are or how many armor plates, which is nice. So if we strip this ship entirely, just to get a look at it here. Okay. So we have 2 defensive slots, 2 offensive slots, and one defensive or support. With no engine in it, this ship only has a movement speed of 2. So I do think that this should probably be an engine. And we do have access to Hyperium engines. So the basic engine that we have access to right now is 3 movement points. These Hyperium engines obviously cost Hyperium to build, but they have 4 movement points and they add to the ship's evasion value.
Okay.
We have enough Hyperium on hand that we can definitely afford to equip the good engines on our ships. And then as far as weapon and offense and defense stuff goes, the center flotilla in the salvage tactic is a long-range flotilla, so I'd like to put torpedoes in there because, as you can see, these torpedoes have optimal accuracy at long range.
Okay.
So we'll just make this a missile ship. And then for defenses, I'm going to split them just for versatility's sake. We know that the pirates that we've been seeing have been using energy weapons, but I just want to kind of be ready for anything. It's not just, by the way, it's not just a split between this one defend against bullets, this one defends against energy. Hull plating type defenses, in addition to their projectile defense, reduce the damage dealt to crew and give you a larger raw health bonus on the ship, while energy type defenses give you a smaller health bonus, but they give you, Halo style shielding on the ship, where you have like a pool of temporary hit points that depletes, and then if the ship stops taking fire for a minute, the shielding can refill.
That's the thing from the Halo games?
I always call it Halo style. People seem to, people know what that means. That's kind of like the design of
a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things. But Halo, I think, is where most people were familiar with it for the first time.
Okay.
All right, so these things have an industry cost of 360. Right now our system's outputting about 120, so it's just about 3 turns. We can bump some people over from Genis to Esh to speed this up, obviously. Extra industry, but they produce a lot less food on Esh. And it's also worth noting our Lumeris populations produce extra dust if they're on a fertile world, which Esh is not. So I think what we're going to do is keep the Lumeris over on Genis. The Nashest don't care where they're working. We'll bump a couple of Nashest over to here. And we could bump the whole population over, but also this system has fewer... this planet has fewer population slots on it, and we'd be bumping into the overpopulation area. Gosh, are we negative on food already? Oh, we're negative on food because we're mailing 80 food per turn to that outpost. That's fine. I think that's the right thing to do. Growth will be back to normal soon enough. So, sorry. Yeah, let's actually produce one of these. It's still 3 turns, but there'll be a little bit more overflow here. It really is. We're talking about like a little bit. And each warship we build has some militarist political impact. But, we do need some warships. That's just it's not really negotiable. Okay, we should be able to do a couple more curiosity searches for the nearest here. We've discovered dust-siduous trees on this system.
That still cracks me up.
And
I like this.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
I like the sense of humor that they have. More of the jokes land for me.
Yeah.
Than, say, the humor that was in Civ.
Yeah, the in particular, I think Dungeon of the Endless has a lot of really funny item descriptions and stuff. So this planet has a high energy plasma sphere, giving it a little bit of free defense and some good stats. Ooh, science from scrap. Earn science based on destroyed ships. I think that might be a thing we want to add to our tactics group. Unfortunately, we're still waiting for that to become free again because we do want to fill our extra tactics slot. We'll get there. These guys are coming around quickly. We should be able to assist them or ask them how they would like us to assist them next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So at the beginning of this episode, 2 hours into the thing, we were on turn 22. That's probably too slow. We probably need to be doing more than 11 turns per episode. And I see now we are approaching turn 30, not really doing much better here. Listen, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but, I talked about this with you a bit after the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel smoother and faster because the decisions there's a lot of decisions to make, but they feel like there's a lot less granular fussiness.
Okay.
Even just like resolving the battles, even just the exploration. You have to get to the system and send out the probes, but it definitely feels different than spending 6 turns marching around 4 hexes at a time.
Okay. I can see that.
I don't know if that's common for these space games to have this kind of level of the role you occupy and the types of decisions you make.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
We picked up the signal 3 days ago, says the nearest representative, looking apprehensive. May I? You wave a hand. Yes. The audio is distorted and an unholy wailing din can be heard in the background, but the speaker's whispered words are clear. Something escaped from the labs, and none of the others have come back. Their words suddenly become louder. Somebody has to help us, for all our sakes. The audio stops. How old is this signal, you ask? We have no idea, the nearest says. The signal is of nearest origin, but where it hails from is uncertain. Whatever escaped from the labs should be no match for your experienced explorers, though. You just need to locate it. So just explore curiosities until we discover where that signal was from. We certainly have a lot of ships with probes and stuff. We will just keep probing things. Okay, Oshi has finished its basic industry buildings. It is gaining population way too quickly for its ability to handle the population. You can see here another point of Galvaran pop is going to be born next turn, and then the system's going to actually be full. So we need to colonize another world just so that there's someplace else for people to live.
And the thing you said about how slow we're going, this is a new game that we're playing.
Yeah.
So you are having to explain a lot of things to me. I feel like the first few episodes of each series about a game have been a bit slower, a bit more information dense of necessity.
Yeah, probably.
So I wouldn't worry about the pace.
Sure, you wouldn't. Okay,
And
we found more of them trees.
And from what I've seen in comments, everyone's just really happy to see you playing this game again. like it seems more so than for Endless Legend. People are really hyped for you playing this game again. So I'm happy to be part of that.
That is interesting. And they're both really rad games, All right, so you can see here we still got logistics, ships, heading out toward Deki. How's this going? 31 turns at 9 food per turn. So each 80 food ship that arrives is going to strip 9 turns off of that timer effectively.
Okay.
So it shouldn't take too much, but obviously there's a bit of travel between Ash and Deki.
Now, you've told me this before, but the very first game, the Dungeon of the Endless,
Mm-hmm.
that's not a 4X game. That's a different genre of game.
You just said the very first game. That's not the first Endless game. Endless Space was the first
Oh, okay.
Endless game. And also, I did look it up. Dungeon of the Endless actually didn't come out before Endless Legend either. It came out like the month afterward. It came out like they were very, very close.
Okay.
I'm gonna have this system. This system doesn't really have anything else here that I'm super excited about building. I guess we should build the shipyards before we build ships, but I do think it's time to start building ships here. And we have a bunch of unexplored curiosities, but that's what the hero is for. So yeah, it's a thing I assume they had a different set of people working on.
Yeah, I would assume so. But it's not a 4X. It's like a different genre of game.
It's almost a tower defense game.
Right.
It's an unusual thing for sure.
Is that one I have? I know we're not going to play, at least not on this series. Is that one I have access to?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I own that, yeah. Oh, Horatio is bringing... Oh, yeah, look at this. Horatio's got real combat ships now.
What a punk.
He's coming. We've discovered a solar nebula just kind of hanging out here outside of the constellations. This would be rad to have. We did complete this first brig, and I am just going to immediately send it out to Decky. Do we just want to make another one? We're going to have applied cryogenics done next turn. So we can do some planetary specialization. You can see each one of these specializations, it's like +1 of a particular resource per population point, and then an extra point if the planet meets some particular descriptor. In this case, the only one we have is the science-focused one, and it only gives you the bonus on cold worlds. So that's a little awkward for us. You know, we could jam out that supermarket planning for the moment when we're switching off our law types. I think that's what we'll put in the queue, and then when that's done, we'll build one of these bigger ships. Yelchin is continuing to gain power. So we could run down there and harass those Horatio ships, but honestly, like, at the moment, they're blockading the pirates.
Okay.
Or they're sieging the pirates, and I'm inclined to just let the two of them have at it.
Don't let Horatio get our tiny tundra, though.
If he gets it, we'll just take it back. Don't worry.
Maybe.
No, not maybe.
Rise and look to our future. The
Okay.
Nephilim are eager to rule the galaxy once again.
So she's like half mummified, I think, and her real arms don't work, but she's got. There's a whole. These guys are weird and complicated. We see one of their ships coming in via free space. Just a scouting vessel, it looks like, although it has some stats. Damn, look at that. 195 offense,
Okay.
570 defense. And we know that this is the player who owns this. They're in control of this constellation, and they got that first competitive deed. So they're doing quite well, it would seem. Currently, we are getting the 15% science bonus for being in control of Aquarius. So that's interesting. We know that we have more systems held than Horatio does. A thing that he's looking to change. All right, we gotta push through this pirate base sometime soon. I mean, we're starting to work on it. Kraz probably needs drone networks before we do anything else, and also probably shipyards. It is a little bit of a shame. I feel like we're spending a lot of time preparing to build ships. It would be really rad to be building ships, but what are you going to do? Okay. So we have 4 probes here and exactly 4 curiosities to explore. And hey, we found that lab. Entering the lab complex, your expedition leader reports some grisly findings. Fluid trails, desiccated bodies, wholesale slaughter. The advanced state of decomposition of the victims suggests this happened long ago, only the sealed environment preventing complete deterioration. Whatever or whoever did this is long gone. You instruct your team to recover the dead to return to the nearest. So, okay, a bunch more Hyperium, and we have gained another minor faction, our first system outside of our home constellation. The nearest, what is the trait that we got from them? Okay, plus 25% food. Yeah, that's real good, because that's going to always be active for us. Because again, we're very good at happiness. Also, what did we discover? We found some hydromiel. Some of these are resources that existed in the first game. Some amianthoid. A source of adamantium. Yeah, pretty rad. Scorpius turns out to be a place that has a lot of resources.
Cool beans.
These are cool beans. Okay, our battle tactics are, again, editable for free. Let's do a quick edit. So first of all, science from scrap, plus 20 science per destroyed command point. Hell yeah. Let's throw that in there. And then, like, do we want to change anything else out? This has a very similar flotilla composition to Turtle. I wonder if we need both of them. If we're building ships that have long-range weaponry, I guess we have a long-range flotilla on two of our other cards. So I'm not really sure what else would be appropriate. I guess something where more of us are at long range. Maybe 15% of flotilla collateral damage inflicted on weapon modules, minus 65% damage on weapon modules. Oh, this is kind of interesting if we want to like really lean into a boarding party strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Just one where we try to maneuver to ablate and then rely on manpower to get the actual battle resolved. Okay, and now that we have a decent sized ship, let's go pursue those weapon onboarding party technologies. So we know a little bit more now. I want to see, how are the Nakalim dealing with, okay, they're in open war with the Riftborn. That's interesting. We know Horatio now has met the Riftborn. Cold War, yeah, that's not too surprising. They don't really have a lot of competition going on there. All right, and I'm just going to explore some other curiosities out here. May as well. Yeah, because sometimes they're just loot. We have these caravels, we may as well use them. So Takim is interesting because we have shuttles here now. I'm not sure if I want to send them home or not. It would take a really long time to get them back. I might just leave them here to play defense in case Takim gets attacked. All right, so let's talk about the mechanics of this siege real quick, and then we'll probably end the episode there.
Okay.
Systems also have manpower, effectively. They also have crew, more or less. You can see this system has 450 maximum crew. You can launch a ground invasion of a planet and the system, or of a system, and the planets in that system get to defend with their defense value. And you have like an infantry versus infantry battle, and there are different tactics available for that as well. But you can also siege a planet and just, you know, starve the people out or attack the people from orbit with, you know, with weapons that are designed for that. It takes a very long time to siege down a planet's defenses if your ships are not specifically designed to do that. And you can see here, dude is having just a terrible time of this. It is going to take over 100 turns to finish this job. Not really a realistic option, in my opinion. But we're going to have to, you know, obviously deal with this and engage with these systems when it comes to, first of all, us eliminating these pirate bases, and secondly, us taking territory away from Horatio. So that's stuff that is in our near future. I think for the moment, though, that's going to be it for this episode. Sorry we didn't get more combat in here. I kind of thought Horatio was going to be on the move a little bit more aggressively. It's fine. We'll get there. Blood will be spilled soon enough. When you come back next time, perhaps you'll even see the beginning of it. And we'll see you then.
Bye.